Afrobeat drums are highly rhythmic. In many West African cultures, the drums take center stage. With technology, these drums keep evolving, but what remains consistent is the use of African percussions. Examples of African percussions are djembe, talking drum, conga, bata, shakers, and many more. Now, certain genres may sound like Afrobeat. What typically sets Afrobeat apart is the use of percussions in its drum pattern. Now, since we make electronic music, we do not necessarily need the physical percussion, okay? We have sounds that are available as kits, okay? These are digital audio files that are available. You can simply drag and drop and use in your productions regardless of the software used. Some are one shots, which are single sounds that are recorded, okay, samples of these instruments I mentioned earlier, or it could be loops maybe played by hand by an expert percussionist. And you can get these samples and loops for free from YouTube. Some are paid, some are free, or you can get it from dedicated sample sites like Splice or producer sources. In modern Afrobeat, when building a rhythm, you typically have your tempo within 90 BPM to 120 BPM. Now, BPM stands for beats per minute. Now, there are a couple of songs that fall below this tempo range or exceed this tempo range, but this is just a guide, okay? So now I'm going to type in a value within 90 to 120, right click this tempo, okay, then coming to type in value. I think I would like to start at 98. Now, this is not static. You can always change this. If you feel like your drums is too fast, you can slow it down by maybe typing in 95, 93. But if you feel like it's too slow, you can increase it maybe like 105, 108, 110. All depends on you, okay? Or you can just switch it up just to get different vibes from it, depending on how you feel while creating your drum pattern. So now that we understand the tempo range that we make our drums in, now we're going to need a kick and a rim shot to set the foundation of the drum groove, okay? So we're going to be using Splice. Splice is not free, okay? You actually need to pay for it to use it, okay? The link is in the description if you want to sign up on Splice. Here you can get a ton of Afrobeat drum sounds, okay? Whether you want one shot or you want loops, okay? So I'm going to come right here and just say Afrobeat drums, okay? So right here, then make sure I select drums. Then I can select between loops or one shot. For now, I want one shots. All right. Because these are single individual sounds and I need a kick and a rim shot. Then I'm going to select kicks. I want kicks for now. So I'm going to listen to a couple. Now, each of these kicks all have different characters. So different kicks will give your drum track a different character. Okay. So I'm going to go with this for now. So if you want a sound, let's say you want this sound, you can just click the plus icon and it's going to download it onto your PC, okay? And then you can always use it from your sound collections, okay? When you come to your library under sounds, you can see everything here. I already have a couple. So I'm going to go back to this and then drag and drop this into my channel rack. Just drag it onto your channel rack and that's it. And next we need a rim shot, okay? So you can just cancel the kick and then check for rims, okay? So we'll listen to a couple. Okay, I think I like this one. I already downloaded it. I already have it in my library, so I can just simply drag it and drop it again. Okay, so now in Afrobeat, there are two common drum patterns, all right? The first is this one. And then we have this. Okay, so now we're going to play the kicks, and this is where, it's going to, so now I'm going to play the kicks, all right? So I'm going to just right click this, then fill each four steps. And then for this, we'll have this kick pattern. All right, so now we have this. Now, a couple of songs may sound slightly different. That's because they made variations. Okay, they made variations out of this, and we can also make a variation. For example, I can take the rim shots and have it right here, and I can even have my kick playing double, or like this. So these are variations you can create, okay, but please keep it minimal. Do not do too much, okay? Just keep the variations as simple as possible, okay? Then right here, we can also have a slight variation again by adding a kick, or we can have a rim here. Now, this all depends on you and the vibe you're trying to create, okay? These are simple variations you can do with your drums. Now, let's add some percussions, okay? I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to click percussion. I'm going to listen to a couple. I like that, so I'm going to add it, then drag and drop. Okay, I like this as well. Now we're going to limit ourselves to just two different percussions. Okay, so we're going to play not more than two notes while avoiding the kick drums. Okay, so let's start with the first pattern. So this is the kick drum. You can see the black, the red, the black, and the red. That's where the kick drums hits. Okay, so we're going to try and dodge the kick drum as much as possible. So I can click one right here, and I can click another one right here. I can have it right here again. Same thing, I could have the same thing right here. Now, feel free to adjust the volumes, okay? Because sometimes some sounds may sound quite loud while some may be very quiet. So you may need to adjust the volume so you can have some balance, all right? And you don't always have to play two notes. It could be one note sometimes, okay? Like I have right here. You can have two notes still. Okay, so now let's build the second pattern, all right? Same thing, we're avoiding the kicks. You can see real easy, okay? There's groove, okay, and rhythm is nice. With Afrobeat, adding layers to your drums can give you a different feel. We're going to layer our rim shots and percussions with complementary sounds, okay? So we're going to keep it simple and minimal by adding just one layer for each sound. So we're going to open up Splice again, come to percussions. Okay, so we're going to look for rim again. So then I can just type in rim shots, okay? And then type one shot. Okay, I think I like that. So I'm going to use that. So keeping the layers simple, okay, we're going to add a note step by step under each instrument. So you can just copy, then paste it here. To copy, you right click, you click copy, then you right click and you click paste. Without the layer, with layer, Always adjust the volumes. Okay, so I'm going to get another layer for our percussion. So when you type in percussion, you can come to genres, okay? Then you come down to African, all right? Because remember, we need African percussions. Okay, so we listen. Remember, we want one shot for now. Okay, so we'll have this in here. Just a layer with our percussion. So you don't have to have it running all the way like you did in the initial percussion. But if you like the vibe, you can leave it that way, but you can just have one. But I think both sounds fine. So let's get another layer for the second percussion. Okay, I think this is nice. I'm going to use this. So I'm going to come right here and layer it. All right, so I have a rhythm already. So let's go to the second pattern. So same thing, I could copy the rim shot right here, paste it here. Same thing again with the percussion. So when I turn off the layers, when the layers are on, and when I turn off the layers, and when it's turned on, so now you can see that adding layers to your drums make it sound full and more interesting, right? So now we're going to look into using loops, all right? So we're going to drop this on our playlist, but make sure you're in bar mode, okay? Click this magnet icon right here in bar mode. Then you can just drag and drop onto the playlist. For now, let's just do that 4 times, okay? That is 4 bars, okay? So we'll also do it for the second pattern shortly. But first, now in Afrobeat, okay, the common drum loop use are percussion loops, okay? Because most times they may be played by a real percussionist, okay? And it has this element of realness to it, okay? So getting those loops can help enhance the way our drums sound. It makes our drums feel and sound more authentic. So we can get some loops from Splice as well. So we'll come to browse. So we'll come to percussion. Okay, same thing. So some loops can also be shaker loops. Okay, it doesn't have to be full blown percussion loops. It could be as simple as a shaker loop. But then we'll come down to genre. Okay, African. Remember, we are working with African percussions. Then we're going to come to loops. Then when we listen, So let's try this loop and see how it sounds. So we're going to download it. And when it's done downloading, you drag it into the playlist. And if you observe when I play it, it's going to sound weird. Come to song mode so you can hear both tracks. You can see it sounds weird, right? Now there's a way you can easily fix this. So to fix that, just double click it, okay? Double left click it. It's going to come up with this window, all right? Then you come to time. Now before you come to time, I want you to observe something here. Each box is a bar, okay? Remember, one box is one bar, two boxes are two bars, okay? But now we have four boxes, then it's almost on the eighth box, right? It's almost occupying the eighth box right here. But when we right click time, all we can see is four bars, which is four boxes, right? It doesn't go up to eight. So you just click on this for now, okay? Then you click stretch, all right? But when I play it, it sounds weird. So to fix that, you click this stretch icon right here, all right? Then you come to the edge and then you drag it out so it can be completely on the 8 bars. Okay, since it was almost at 8 bars, sometimes it may exceed it a little bit, but you drag it to the nearest bar. Okay, sometimes it may be 2 bars, it may be 4 bars or 8 bars. Okay, but please, it's never 6, it's never 3. Okay, it's always 1 bar, 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, 12 bars, 16 bars. Okay, please try to remember that. So when I play it, and this is how it sounds like. Of course, we'll adjust the volume. And see how it gave the drums a new rhythm, right? So when I turn it off, and when I turn it on, you can always adjust the volume. I think I need to reduce it a little bit more so it doesn't sound like it's clashing. Now, you may see some loops, okay, that will be on the perfect 4 bars or 2 bars or 8 bars. Okay, you don't need to adjust that. You only adjust it when you see that it's not entirely on it. Okay, for example, you can see there's a little bit left, or if it was maybe somewhere around here. Remember, I said you can only do 2, 4, or 8 bars, right? So this is already exceeding 8 bars. We can't do 10 bars. Okay, so you bring it back to 8 bars. Okay, so that's how you snap your loops to bars in FL Studio. Okay, so now we have our drums. All right, so let's try this for the second track. Okay, let's go with that. I like that too, but let's try this first. So sometimes with percussion loops, it can be a try and error. You may need to try a couple before you hear, the one that really fits. So you can see this is just a little bit over 4 bars, right? So just right click, say 4 bars, and then we'll stretch, and then we'll listen. Okay, this sounds good too. All right, we have a drum pattern. I want to hit harder, and now it's really easy to do. All you have to do is just route all your sounds to the mixer. Make sure they're all routed to the mixer. Come right here, select all, then Control Shift L or Command Shift L. And if maybe yours isn't working, you can just, when you highlight everything right here, right, with Shift and all of that, you can just right click and then you come to track routing. And then you come to route selected channels from this track, and it's going to spread everything all across. Okay, so now we have it. Now we have to create a bus track. Okay, so we'll highlight everything again by holding Control Shift and then selecting them one by one. And then we'll just right click, track routing, create submix, and we'll name this drum bus. Okay, this will allow us apply a single effect that can affect the entire sounds. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll use an EQ. to take out unwanted frequency. So come right here, do the first preset as the 20 hertz and 18 hertz cut, and cut out unwanted frequency up to about 25 hertz. You can see the help bar right here, about 25 hertz. All right, just somewhere around there. Now we're going to use a third-party plugin, okay, called CLA76. So now we're just going to adjust the inputs a little bit so I know it's more relaxed, because we don't want much compression, okay. We just want more of the tone, and make sure we turn on the analog mode by clicking either 50 or 60 hertz, okay, and then we'll listen. And then we're going to use another plugin, a free plugin this time, Fruity Fast Distort. But when we play, it's going to sound distorted. We don't want that. So we're going to reduce the mix by a lot. We just want a little bit of it. Alright, so when I turn off the effects, this is how the drums sound. And when I turn on the effects, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button so others can see it too, and subscribe for more tips and tricks. Cheers.